Welcome to the Way to the Truth cast. This is where that you get the news, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us God. And so I want to read you the news. Liberal columnist: if Camilla wants to win, she needs to run away from Biden's record. Killamilla, remember I use Killamilla because she's a killer, and she's a chameleon. Killamilla Harris is advised to distance herself from Joe Biden's unpopular positions to defeat Donald Trump in the upcoming election. Recent polls show 61% of voters want major change from Biden, but only 25% see Harris as representing such change. A critical debate between Killamilla Harris and Trump is scheduled for Tuesday, with Harris's team aiming to create viral moments similar to her past performance. Apparently, it happened tonight, and nothing big happened for either candidate. Didn't really change anything, from what I understand. Harris is undergoing intense. I didn't watch it. I don't want to watch something like that, unless I knew Trump was going to win. But anyway, I knew that Killamilla would just lie her butt off, and which she did, and the news let her do it and not get away with it, and they actually started debating for her, trying to help her, from what they say. But so it was just a Trump bath. Killamilla is undergoing intense debate preparations in Pittsburgh, facing pressure to perform well after Biden's poor debate performance led to his exit from the race. So she needed to perform well, and she didn't. Killamilla pledges to support funding trans surgeries for detained illegals. In 2019 UCLA questionnaire, Killamilla Harrison expressed support for cutting ICE funding and providing gender transition surgeries to detained immigrants. Harris pledged to end immigration detention facilities and increase ICE funding by at least 50%. She supported taxpayer funding gender transition surgeries for detained immigrants and federal prisoners. Harris indicated support for decriminalizing federal drug possessions for personal use. Harris' campaign did not directly address whether she still holds these positions, stating her views have been shaped by her time in the Biden Harris administration. Actually, Killamilla doesn't have any, what is it called, positions or campaign strategies. She just does whatever comes to people's minds at the time. Whatever's the flow of the wind, and that's where Killamilla goes. Killamilla's policy change clings to a Biden administration stance while ignoring recent flip-flops. Vice President Killamilla Harris' campaign added a policy page to her website. I heard about that. She used to have Tinker Toys on there and LGBTQ rainbow stuff, but now she actually has a policy page. But it doesn't address her recent policy flip-flops on key issues. The policy platform frequently mentions President Joe Biden and their administration, despite reports of Killamilla Harris's trying to distance herself from Biden. Killamilla Harris's campaign has reversed her previous stance on issues like fracking, gun buybacks, and health insurance without explicitly addressing these changes on the website. The policy changes covers uh, topics such as economy, abortion access, civil rights, abortion security, and gun control. Harris's campaign declared her support for building a border wall, contradicting her previous criticism of Trump's wall as un American and a waste of money. When pressed about her policy reversals in a CNN interview, Kamala Harris claimed her core issue values have not changed despite the apparent shifts in her policy position. She has no values. Biden and Kamala Harris, Commerce Secretary, says Kamala's punishing schedule keeps her away from press. I remember President Trump used to have a press conference over 15 minutes. He'd be getting on Air One, and he would give a press conference. And getting off and give a press conference. He gave more press conferences than any president known to man. I was like, why is he giving a press conference now? Anyway, Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo attempted to explain Vice President Kamala Harris's limited media interaction, citing a busy schedule. Kamala Harris has not given a sit-down interview or press conference since President Biden announced he was ending his re-election bid on July 21st, except for the one CNN interview on August the 29th. So I guess we got to wait a month and 8 days. So July, August, September, maybe, yeah, after the election. Raimondo claimed Harris is talking to Americans and has a punishing schedule that prevents her from doing more interviews. A New York Times Siena College poll found that 55% of likely voters believe Trump is better suited to handle the economy compared to 42% for Kamala Harris. Nancy Pelosi claims 1/3 of representatives are motivated by prejudice. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi suggests that 30% of Republican voters will never vote for Democrats due to racism, sexism, and homophobia. Pelosi made these comments at the 2024 Texas Tribune Festival, discussing why the presidential race between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump is close. She also mentioned that very rich people who don't want to pay taxes or have regulations make up another segment of the Republican voters. It's actually not true. Actually, the rich are now on the Democrat Party side for some reason. Pelosi acknowledged that some voters have legitimately, look at all the billionaires that spoke at the DNC. Pelosi acknowledged that some voters have legitimate concerns about globalization, innovation, and immigration affecting their livelihoods. Excuse me. She compared Trump to a snake oil salesman and suggested he might not show up for the upcoming ABC News presidential debate. Biden wrote nearly 300 executive orders to open the southern border during the first year. Senator John Kennedy, Republican of Louisiana, claimed that Biden, Kamala Harris administration wrote nearly 300 executive orders to open the U.S. border in their first year in office. According to the Migration Policy Institute, the IMP, Biden took 296 executive actions on immigration during his first 364 days as president. These actions covered a wide range of issues, including narrowing the number of unauthorized immigrants vulnerable to arrest and lifting barriers to U.S. entry. The Biden administration's actions were criticized by both immigrant rights activists for moving too slowly and conservatives for inattention to the border flaws. In June of 2024, Biden issued an executive order allowing about 2,500 migrants encounters per day on average at the U.S. Mexico border. I don't want to read the article. Over 170,000 illegal immigrants reportedly attempted to cross the U.S. Mexico border in May of 2024, according to the Customs and Border Protection data. So, Springfield, Ohio grapples with demographic shift as Haitian immigrants reshape local dynamics. Springfield, Ohio has received approximately 20,000 Haitian migrants, leading to significant changes in the community. Residents report issues such as increased car accidents, rising insurance rates, strain on social services, and cultural clashes. Local businesses and some residents praise the migrants for filling job vacancies and contributing to the economy. The influx is limited to the Biden administration's immigration policies, with Helio Mayorga cited as a key figure in the facilitating the migration. The situation in Springfield is represented as a microcosm of the national debate on immigration policy and its local impact. Ohio AG David Yost seeks legal action to halt migrant resettlement in Buckeye State. Ohio Attorney General David Yost announced an investigation into how to legally stop the Biden Kamala Harris administration from settling large numbers of migrants in Ohio. Yost claims the migrant influx has strained Ohio's economy, medical, and educational system over the past 4 years. The town of Springfield is cited as an example where up to 20,000 Haitian nationals have reportedly been resettled in the community, and under 60,000 residents. Residents have complained about issues such as car crashes, squatting, wildfire, killing for food, and property theft allegedly caused by migrants. Yost questioned the limits of federal power in resettling migrants and plans to bring the issue before the federal judge. Over several million foreign nationals have illegally crossed the U.S.-Mexican border since the beginning of the Biden-Harris administration. Italian government challenges EU's 2035 combustion engine ban. Italian conservative government is calling on the EU to abandon its plan to ban the sale of new combustion engine vehicles by 2035. Italian Energy Ministry Alberto Picchito Fratin described the used plan as absurd and driven by an ideological vision. Disputing Prime Minister Matteo Salvini plans to produce legislation to commit the government to repeal the EU directive. The Italian government cites concerns about the European automotive industry, particularly referencing Volkswagen's struggles in Germany. Electric vehicle sales in the EU have seen a 10% decline in the year leading up to May, compared to a 3% decline in overall car sales. The EU is considering implementing tariffs on Chinese-made electric vehicles, but states are divided on the issue. Recent studies shows COVID lockdowns prematurely age girls' brains. A study found that COVID lockdowns led to premature brain aging in adolescents, with a more significant impact on girls than boys. MRI scan shows girls' brains appear 4.2 years older than expected after lockdown, compared to 1.4 years for boys. The brain changes in girls were more widespread, affecting areas linked to social cognition, emotional processing, and language comprehension. Researchers suggested the difference may be due to girls' greater dependence on social interaction for their well-being and development. The long-term effects of these brain changes on cognitive performance and mental health are not yet clear. What's next? What we are seeing happen in Springfield, Ohio, is in the early stages of the Democrats' plan to replace American populations with large groups of unassimilatable. No, it's not unassimilatable. Unassimilable migrants in an attempt to pervert our domestic political process and erode our culture. The Washington establishment and legacy media don't want you to talk about it, but let's face facts. The managerial elite do not believe you. As an American, have any right to say who comes into our community. And this makes sense when you realize that the people who run the United States don't think of it as a country. They view it as an economic zone from which they hope to extract wealth and resources perpetually. To ensure this, they need a revolving door of constituencies that will provide them with political support in exchange for financial resources and legal protection. Here's how it works. Import or otherwise incentivize the illegal immigration of people with no historical claim to the land, provide them with resources while they break the law and terrorize the Americans already living in a specific area, gaslight American citizens into thinking they're crazy or bigoted for noticing and pointing it out, continue until the immigrant populations outnumber or rival native born populations in size, and then use these newly enriched and emboldened populations to entrench yourselves in power permanently. This isn't just happening to Springfield, it's happening everywhere. And if the Democrats retain power, it will get worse. In 2021, Killamilla Harris bragged about giving protective status to thousands of Haitian immigrants who are now terrorizing Springfield, Ohio. So let's see if we can hear this video.
Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
That is why, also, starting with our administration, we gave TPS, temporary protected status, to Haitian migrants, 55,000. And then more recently, we extended temporary protected status to over 100,000 Haitian migrants for that very reason, that they need support, they need protection. That is why, also, starting with our administration,
So with that, that is the news. It is the truth and the whole truth, but so help us God. I had said last night that I would probably do Vivek Ramaswamy and in another video tonight, but I decided not to do those two since I've already seen them. I like to see them new with you. And so I decided to make this to tell you the news. And Bongino was not, that video is not up yet, so we will wait until the Bongino video is up before we watch it with you. So with that, this is the news, and we say good night.